I'm going to show you how you can go through your own speech and look where you can improve upon. I'm going to use my Toastmaster speech. It is my first speech and it is the icebreaker. And whilst watching this, I'm going to focus on the pause, my tonality, my pitch, my melody, my rate of speech, filler words, body language, eye contact, and my stage presence. So throughout this whole video, I'm going to stop it and tell you where I think I can improve. And this is vital if you want to improve within public speaking. Let's get into it. For speeches, you normally get a time limit. This one was 4 to 6 minutes, and I was just asking how the time would work because they give you a colour on the system to tell you when you've got a minute left.
It's February 14th.
First thing, look how I'm standing. I want to be a little bit more open. I'm in more of a stance. If I'm open, it lets the audience know that I'm more welcoming straight away.
2023, 10:30 in the morning. I'm at Manchester Top Team. For all you, that is my fighting gym. I'm on the mat. I'm feeling slick. I'm feeling smooth.
See there, that was a great display of slipping in boxing, but it also let them know what sort of movements I was doing. Because when you start telling a story, people paint their own picture in their own head. You see how there's 20 people here. Each one of them will be thinking slightly differently. But by doing the movement, it gets them to think the same thing.
Everything felt normal until I got injured, but not any injury, because I've had black eyes, I've broken my nose a few times, and if you've seen my ears, they're not the best lookers. But an injury that would change the trajectory of my entire life. I got many symptoms, too many to
See there, I should have paused a little bit longer. Because the audience then would have to think about, ooh, what injury is that? It'll make it play in their mind a little bit more. Literally 2 seconds.
the list. But the main ones were a loss of vision, a loss of balance, constant
That's a good use of hand gestures to help them know it is 3 points.
headaches. But the one that affected me the most was my ability
See that, I went up. I've made the roller coaster go up, and then I've told them the actual symptom that is bothering me.
to communicate. I lost the ability to pronounce words like I once could. I lost the ability to string coherent sentences together like I once could. And
Should have been more of a pause. Sueno, what are you doing? Pause there, wait 3 seconds, and then go into the next sentence.
that affected me. I rang some fighters that had long-term concussion as well. I got a number. I found the best specialist in the country. I went to him. It was a 4-hour drive there, a 4-hour drive back. And he could tell that my right eye reaction time was here, but my left eye was here. So over the next couple of months, we worked on balancing that out. And sure, it worked. My vision got back to normal. My balance got back to normal. And the headaches were gone. But the only problem was, my speech, it didn't improve.
The pause again. I could have used this technique and it would have created a lot more effect with the story. It would have made everyone watching this story and listening to the story think more about my symptoms. Because the pause gives your audience time to think. If you don't pause, they're always trying to keep up with the story. But giving that extra 2-3 seconds allows them to process what you've actually said.
And I come from a very, very big family. I'm one of 7. My dad, he was a busy man. But because there were so many of us, we used to fight. We used to bully each other all the time. We'd get back from school, and if we hadn't had a fight within 1 hour, my mum would walk in. Is everything okay here? She'd be shocked if we weren't fighting. And that led us to be...
I like to say that is also a good use of the stage. I've walked all the way to the end and I've walked into it to try and replicate what my mum would do when walking into a room.
very, very competitive. But me and my brother, that was on another level. We had to win everything. We had to beat each other at anything. Whether that was winning at sports events, whether that was winning at nationals at swimming, whether that was who could eat the most dinner. That one sounds...
There, I actually forgot what I was going to say. But when you forget, your audience doesn't know that you've forgotten. They don't know what the script is. They don't know what the plan is for the whole story. You just need to carry on like it is normal. And that is what I've tried to do there. What I meant to say was about getting scouted in a football team.
But because of that, it installed a mindset in me to never quit.
I'm about halfway through this speech, and something that I've realised after watching myself back is the eye contact is not the best. I need to pick someone and look at them for 3 seconds and then move on to the next person. Whereas at the moment, I'm kind of just looking anywhere. I might be looking down the centre towards the camera. I might be just glancing towards people, but I'm not really making them feel like they're part of the speech because I'm not looking at them long enough. Like if we're having a normal interaction in a social setting, I'm going to be looking into your eyes. I'm not going to be death staring like this, but I'll be looking for a couple seconds, then I'll go off. I'll be looking for a couple seconds, then I'll go off. It's the same when it comes to doing public speeches, and this is something that I want to master a little bit more. And it's pinpointing people within the story and moving on so they feel part of it.
To never settle, because I would hear it from him first. But not only would I hear it from him, I would also hear it from my dad. And that led me back to my communication. I wasn't willing to let...
Brother! Pause! There would have been a beautiful time to pause.
a situation hold me back. So I did the only thing that I thought I could. I researched. I found the best pathologist.
And again, pause. Maybe even slow it down a little bit there. Overemphasize this point. It's important within the story.
I could in the country. I went to them, I bought public speaking courses, and I set a routine for me to do every single day. But I knew that wasn't quite enough. I had to do something else. And what I did is start filming myself like I'm doing now every single day to post on social media. I didn't post for likes, I didn't post for shares, and I didn't...
You can see how my body is slightly turned. I want to keep it open. I'm looking more towards one side of the function room. If I'm open, then everyone feels welcome. I can get away with this if I had good eye contact, but I do not. And because of that, I need to stay a little bit more open.
Post for followers. I posted to keep me accountable. But after filming myself for months and months, yes, I improved. Even got to the...
See there, I'm looking towards the wall. I need to look towards the people. Come on, brother.
the stage I was before. Because of all these public speaking courses, I was now getting very, very picky. I'd watch myself and I would speak like this. I'd say 3 or 4 ums every single sentence. I wouldn't move my face too much and I didn't like showing any emotion. I'd never smile. And because I had a monotone body, I had a monotone voice. So I worked on adding a bit more tonality.
I'm watching this back and I'm getting annoyed how I'm not doing any eye contact. I'm just looking down the centre, looking at my hands. Yes, I'm glancing towards the people, but I'm not connecting to their soul. Ah!
And putting that into my speech, which started to put my name in the right conversations. I got asked by...
Pause. That would be in a beautiful time for a pause. Come on, Swayno.
a business to come in and do a speech. A speech on how martial arts can help them in the business world and improve their sales and ROI.
I messed up my word there because my tongue was delayed. I tried to speak a bit too fast. And for that, slow the rate of speech down slightly.
At the business. Now, I've never been in a corporate world in my life. All I've done is train fighting and coach fighting. So I was a bit taken aback. And I walked in, I've got my trackies on. I walked in, first thing I see, someone in a suit.
Same thing again there.
I was like, oh my God, someone's in a suit. Next person comes, they're in a suit as well. I'm like, oh my, what am I doing here? I don't fit in here.
See that? I've gone from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage. I've used the whole area. That is a good point.
But an hour later, my whole perspective changed. I thoroughly
Pause. Right then, pause. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, some sort of eye contact whilst you're pausing, and then go.
enjoyed the speech. I got pretty good feedback, and the pay was also pretty good for an hour's work. And that made me realise my fear that I had about speaking up in conversations, about saying my part, had now turned more into a hobby. And this brings me why I'm here today
Beautiful time to pause again.
for Toastmasters. My brother that I talked about is a stammer. He held back his stammer. It stopped him from having conversations. It stopped him from saying stuff at family events. He would hide it. And that gave me quite a big inspiration when he joined Toastmasters 3 years ago. So when I started trying to improve my communication, I wanted to do it as well. But because I've never been in a...
Maybe here, change the rate of speech up. I've kind of kept the same rate of speech for that section of the speech. And if I slowed it down in certain areas, it'd make the audience pay more attention to the bits where I slow down.
set location at one time. I've been in Thailand, I've been in Australia, right now I've been in America.
Right there, I kind of messed up what I planned for the speech, but I didn't stop. I just adapted and overcome because they don't know that I messed up. Only I know.
Been around Europe. I've never had the time to commit. And now I do. My aim is to improve my skills and gain more knowledge. And that's why I'm stood here today.
I thought looking down at my feet was quite a good gesture if I'm saying, and I'm stood here today. But really, I should have put my hands out, open palms, and looked out towards the audience and given them some eye contact.
In front of all you lot. Thank you.
And that's my personal opinion on my first speech at Toastmasters. Main points to improve upon. Bit more of the pause. Let's try and utilise that a little bit more so then the audience has more time to think. And better eye contact. That is probably the main one. Try and connect to all the individuals within that room and make them feel a part of the story. And when you're looking through your speeches, this is something that you should be doing. Either have a checklist of things that you are concentrating on, so then when you're watching, you can look through your checklist and see if you're actually doing it. Another little pointer that I realised throughout the whole speech was sometimes I was a little bit breathy. And this is down to the pause. Maybe it's because I didn't take enough time to breathe. And it's also because the mic is right next to my face, so you can hear my breathing. If the mic wasn't there, you would not hear that at all. But that's just me being a little bit extra picky. But if you don't look through your speeches and correct yourself like this, your improvements are gonna be affected. If you want to improve in speaking as much as you can and be the best speaker that you possibly can be, you've got to be pretty harsh when it comes to correcting yourself and giving yourself feedback. I'm happy with how that speech went, but I'm not bothered about the stuff that went well. I'm bothered about the stuff that I can improve upon, because that is what's going to make me better, and that is also what's going to make you better, by correcting the points that you need improving on. Anyway, that is enough for me today. See you in the next one.